This program is brought to you by UCKG.
Coming up in tonight's show, the behavior you have, the decisions you make, and the problems you face all have a root. Trying to cut the branches won't fix the problem. You have to go deep down to the root of the problem. Our guest tonight is going to explain to us how she cut the root of her problems and turned her life around. All this and much more on tonight's show.
Hello and welcome to Finding Answers. The viewer may be wondering what this tree is doing here. Well, this tree here because it has a very important purpose and it will teach us a big lesson in tonight's program. But before we talk about the tree, I want you to watch this amazing story, this life transformation story of this person who's been through a lot of problems in their lives. But when they found the genuine power of faith, they saw a genuine turnaround. Watch now.
Hi, and I'm here with Declan today to speak about his story. He will share with us what happened with him when addiction had hit his life. Well, Declan, good day to you.
Good day.
Tell me, which kind of addiction you had?
I was addicted to a few things, like pornography, but my main one was marijuana.
Marijuana?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, first is because I was living a life of crime, and I was facing a period where I got caught for offence that I was done, and I was facing up to 14 years in prison. Now, I was at 18 at the time, so at 18 years old, I was facing 14 years.
So you were caught when you were 18?
18.
And you would face 14 years?
In total, yes.
And that's the reason why you wanted to go for that, or?
Not just that, but I also was expecting a child. So it was a lot of pressure on my shoulders as a young person. So the only place where I thought I could find peace was during my time smoking.
How often you used to smoke?
First it started socially, I'll just smoke with friends. But I gradually started to smoke every single day.
Every day?
Every day.
The urge, the thought used to come to your mind, you used to bend for that?
Yes.
But life of crime, you said?
Yeah.
What you used to do to support this addiction you had?
Well, at the time I was working, so whenever I was earning money, I would buy weed with some of the money as well.
Was all the money going for that?
Not all the money, but majority. Majority
of the money, because majority of the addicts, they say like this, that life is not only for the addiction, but at the end of the day, majority of the money is going for the addiction. Was that your case?
Yeah, it was my case, because even though I had a child, I wasn't giving enough to him, but I was spending more with hanging out with friends, smoking.
Declan, some people say that marijuana is a kind of medicine, it's okay. What did you lose for this addiction?
Well, I started to lose my identity. In fact, I even lost I can say my family, my son, because I found so much pleasure in smoking that I pushed everyone aside, apart from my people that I was smoking with, just to smoke. That was my peace.
So among the friends, the so-called friends,
yeah,
if there was marijuana among them, that was okay. That was a kind of family for you.
Yes.
And house was now left aside.
Yes.
And in the house?
In the house, it wasn't too bad because most of my family members, they smoked. But it was just everything in my immediate family, in the sense of me having my child, I just disowned him.
Can you describe a worst moment?
A worst moment, I believe, while smoking, I became so arrogant. I already had a temper issue, but I just wouldn't take anything from anybody. I remember having a physical fight with my dad, to the extent where I actually hit him, and I just remember him on the floor, knocked out.
You lost respect for your dad, because this is the ultimate action of somebody that doesn't respect anymore family, isn't it? So marijuana you used to give all respect to.
Yeah.
Friends with that, you also respected, because that's among the criminals and all, there is this code of conduct. The danger of losing respect there. But in the house, you cross the limits.
Across the limits.
Could you see the consequences of that?
I could, is because it got to a time, if I didn't have any weed on me, I would be searching the belongings of family members, I'll be searching the couches, I'll be searching any small little cracks just to find small residues of marijuana so I could smoke it. So it got to a point where I was really severely addicted to it. It's like I couldn't live without the marijuana.
Well, what I mean is this. Could you see how it was affecting you when you hit your dad, when you were stealing right inside of the house? Could you see it?
No, you couldn't see it. You can think of the consequences after what has happened, but we didn't really care.
So that constant urge for the use of the element, constant desire for this, using every day, losing respect for everyone that was close to you. How did you manage to beat it up?
Well, I was invited to a place by my friend's girlfriend and his mum, and the methods that I was learned, it was very intelligent. So I decided to take it on board. I started to hear of other cases where people was helped.
So you came to the bottom of the pit, because for an addict to accept this kind of help and desire to be clean, he really realized already that, come on, I lost a lot. Did you hit the bottom?
One thing I realized is that I had to identify why I was smoking. I realized that I was smoking to run away from the stress of everything that was my life. And when I was smoking, I tried to hide through the highness, but when I was not high, the stress was still there. So it was like, what I'm trying to hide from is actually not going anywhere. I realized that I had to face my problems head on, and I know that smoking wasn't helping me face my problems.
Talking about this method that you learned, this discipline that you applied to come out of this situation, did it help?
It helped a lot, and especially helped me to build up a will inside of me, a desire inside of me to say no. You know, I built so much self-belief that I could know that I could say no, and I can exactly stick behind what I said.
If we make a comparison here of Declan today and the Declan before, what changed?
A lot changed. My mindset changed. My character, I was someone that had the mindset of, well, even when I would wake up, I had to get high. I had to smoke throughout the day. My mind was on getting high. Now, my mind is not upon getting high. I don't need, even I get stressed now, I don't need to be high to face my problems. I can face my problems knowing that there's an end result. Even myself, my character, like I said, I'm more happy. Before I was very arrogant. I even had temper issues. Now I'm calm. I know exactly what I want in life. Before I didn't really know exactly what I wanted, but now I know what I want and I'm going after that.
But do you still have the urge for the use of the element?
No urge whatsoever.
The desire, the thoughts, what is it?
It's gone. Even though I have people smoking around me, I've passed many smokers because it's on the streets. I have the desire inside of me is, I had to step behind them because I can't take it no more.
You feel what, disgusted by that?
I feel sick.
You feel sick?
I feel sick.
With what was hooking you before?
Yeah.
Now you feel sick?
Yeah.
Wow. Can you say that there is a solution for addiction?
I can say that there is a solution because I've seen the solution. And I am the solution because of what I've been through.
Thank you, Declan. If you want to know more about this method, give us a call, 020-7686-6300, and you'll find out more. Let's go back to the studio.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. With me here tonight, I've got Pastor Neil. How are you, Pastor Neil?
How are you? Good evening.
Good evening. Pastor Neil, people may be wondering why this tree is here.
Yes.
Well, this is obviously an artificial plant. It's not real. It's got no life. It's lifeless. And therefore, it hasn't got a root.
Yes.
And because it hasn't got a root, we can't expect anything from it. Neither fruit nor thorns. Neither good nor bad things. Because it's lifeless.
Yeah.
But if that was a real tree, we would know the quality of it. And by the quality of it, you could say whether it had a bad or a good root.
Because every problem has a root. And there are, as you said, that you cannot expect nothing from this tree. So even if you were thinking, no, I will cut it down, for what?
It's got no life.
Exactly.
But people have lives.
Yes.
The viewer who is watching us now, they have a life. And they may be wondering why everything goes wrong in my life, in my relationships. I can't make friends. I'm a woman who cannot be in a romantic relationship because I've got a lot of trauma. You know that there are women who have trauma towards men. They simply cannot be in a new relationship. There are people who cannot drive a car, for example, because they suffered a car accident many years ago, and that, you know, triggered a traumatic experience. But the point that we want to make here is, behind every problem there is a bad root. Actually, the root itself is not bad, but it may be contaminated to a virus or a bug or something which obviously corrupted that root. Meaning, there are negative forces, invisible forces, that once they get inside of an individual's life, they will cause a lot of horror and destruction. And we've got our guest tonight, Esther, who has a very shocking story to share with the viewers tonight. Esther, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Esther, how can we relate your life to the lives of the viewers who are watching now and they say to themselves, well, it seems like my root is not good?
So when I was young, I was abused by a family member, and that affected me when I was growing up in school. I always wanted attention from boys, or I never really liked my parents as well, because I felt like I was not loved by them, and I always felt basically insecure about myself because of the root of what happened to me when I was young.
So you see, Pastor Neil, her problem started when she was little.
Exactly.
She wanted to seek attention. Obviously, she needed attention as a little child, but she could not find attention in her household. Therefore, she started seeking attention out there.
And that's the reason why, Pastor Douglas, you find many people, they want to solve the problem in a wrong way. For example, as you said, many women, they are afraid to love. Why afraid to love? Maybe every relationship that you started, it ended the same way. Every job you get, you lost it in the same way. Everything just ended the same way. And you are wondering, why my life is like this? And this is the reason why, Pastor Douglas, we are presenting these three here for them to understand that once they attack the root, the cause of that problem, as you said, it's not definitely the root itself, but something that infected it. And that's the reason why, as Esther says, her life started to go bad somewhere.
Yes, for example, this tree here, it's an artificial one, is fruitless.
Yes.
But we understand why, of course, because it's not genuine. It's, it's artificial, it's fake. Now, but we understand that if this tree had a root, a real root, and if the tree had been well watered, treated fairly, exposed to the right amount of sunlight, that would definitely bear a lot of fruits. And this has to happen to us as individuals. Our lives have to be fruitful. The Word of God says that God came to give us life and life more abundantly. We are going now to watch one more testimony of a person who had a bad root, but through the power of faith, this person managed to find a definite cure for this bad root. See how the life of this person has changed.
I had many problems growing up because my mum had me at a very young age, and like my dad, he was never part of my life. And when I was like 9 months old, my mum got into a relationship which is now my stepdad. And moving here to London, me and my stepdad didn't get along. Up to this day, I don't know what it was, but he just didn't like me. He would make sure that there was a difference between me and my brother, where he would treat us very differently. And my mum would always take his side just to prevent arguments, because if she took my side, then that would cause more arguments and stuff like that. So growing up, I felt very left out. I feel like the black sheep of the family. I always thought like I was a mistake from my mom's past. So when like I hit my teenage years, I started looking for that love and that attention elsewhere. So I got into the wrong sort of friendships, and those friendships caused me to have like my first boyfriend. And because I was I can say I was innocent, and he was much older than me, and because he showed me that care and that love and attention I never had at home, so I fell into his arms and I made him my world in a way. And because obviously my parents didn't agree with it, once they found out, they explained to me like, oh, that I'm too young to have a boyfriend, so on. But I didn't listen to them because in my eyes, they were trying to like take away the only thing that made me happy. I had to end the relationship because there was no other way like we could be together. Literally, I felt like I lost who I was. I didn't know who I was anymore. I was just going with the flow, I guess. I was just going like with what life gave me. Today, I can actually say that I love my life because I can see everything has fallen into place. Like today, I don't feel the way I used to feel anymore inside. Today, I can say I have peace, I'm happy, I love who I am, I love who I'm becoming. I can say that today I have a great relationship with my family, with my brothers and sisters and my parents. Like me and my mom, we have like the closest relationship. I feel like I can tell her anything. I have conquered the job that I've always wanted, and I feel like I'm really growing in life. I'm 19 years old, but I feel like my life is coming into place and I'm like fighting for what I want, and I feel like I can achieve anything because of the positivity that I have inside and just the fact that I'm happy and I know I'm a strong person.
We are going to go now to a short break, and after the break, we'll be sitting on the sofa with Esther, our live guest, who will be sharing with you her amazing life-changing story. Stay tuned.
I was depressed for many years, but not anymore. And now it's my turn to help you lead a happier and healthier life.
Watch The Chrissy B Show on MyTV.
Melting polar ice caps, droughts, and rising sea levels. Climate change brings global disasters, and human activities are part of the problem. But people around the world are looking for ways to address the threat.
Watch Global 3000 on MyTV. The Day provides current news and affairs background analysis.
A growing number of migrants crossed the Serbian-Hungarian border.
There is no doubt about it.
Understand top stories, get professional expertise, statistics and video footage that will give a full insight into the world's most recent issues. Get information in its most complete form. Watch The Day on MyTV. Latest digital inventions, cyber concerns and much more uncovered in Shift. Everything you need to know about the modern digital world. Watch Shift on MyTV. Meet the amazing SUV Jaguar, the stylish Fiat, a vintage VW, a sporty Honda and the Green Smart ED. Drive it, test it, know it. We have cars for any taste. Explore vehicles and their features with our weekly show. Watch Drive It on MyTV.
Pushing me for the rest of the week, so it's like a boost.
Things were really tight.
Today, the way I see myself is completely different.
Welcome back to Finances. If you need our help, you can call us. Our number is 02076866300. If you want to send us an email, you can write to help@finances.tv. And we got a team of spiritual advisors who are more than happy to take your call, to answer your call, to pray for you, and to give you some guidance. In life, at some point, we all need guidance. With us here tonight on the sofa, we have our live guest, Esther. Good evening, Esther.
Good evening.
Thanks for coming to the show, Esther. Esther, we are talking about roots, either good or bad, but behind every problem, there is a root. And what many people do not realize is that they will only be able to change the way they are, the way they overact towards problems, once they find what their real roots are and how to tackle that bad root, how to heal it. You discovered eventually that there was a bad root in you, didn't you?
Yes.
Tell us about your past, please.
So everything started when I was at the age of 9 or 10 years old, that I would have my cousin, my male cousin, my female cousin, basically abusing me in their house. And then I got introduced to watching pornography at very, very young age.
Excuse me, when you say that your cousin was abusing you, what do you mean? Was it like sexually abusing?
Yes, he was sexually abusing me when I was at the age of 9 or 10. And then my female cousin introduced me to watching pornography. So my life basically started really, really messed up already. And then I never had a good relationship with my parent. I would always argue with my parent, or I would always feel like they don't love me, they don't care for me. So that led me to not speak about it to anyone, and I kept it for myself. And as I grew older, because of what I was watching as I was young, it led me to start having sex with girls at the age of 10 or 11. And then I got into another stage of my life where I was basically calling attention at school. I wanted attention from every boy in school or around my area. So at the age of 12, I became very active, sexually speaking, because of everything that happened to me when I was young. 13, 14, I started getting into relationship basically year after year. I didn't care about anything about myself, and I didn't value myself anymore. I didn't care about my age anymore. And that affected my sleep and my studies. I wasn't able to sleep at night. I would always have panic attack, or I'll find myself crying at night because I felt like lonely and empty. Though I was bubbly at school, I done everything I wanted to do, but I wasn't fulfilled on the inside. And every time I come home, there was no peace in my house. There was not that loving in my house. So for me, it was like, there's no point of even living anymore. I got to the stage where I wanted to commit suicide. I'll get things in my mind: kill yourself, you're not good enough, you'll never make it, your parents don't love you, what's the point of you even living anymore? I remember I took a tablet, and for some reason, nothing happened, but I was very, very weak. I went to school, basically I was dizzy. I felt like I'm gonna die, but nothing happened. And I was disappointed. I'm like, oh, I'm still alive, I wanna die, there's no point of me living anymore. So at the age of 14, if I'm not wrong, I started drinking. I became to really, really drink like alcohol with my friends, or I'll just drink for drinking's sake, just to fulfill that empty and that void inside of me. Because I always have that voice: you're not good enough, kill yourself, kill yourself. And I got into a relationship which it made me become very, very addicted, where I became heavily addicted to sex, where I wouldn't care about school anymore. I just wanted to basically do what I wanted to do with my life. And I started lying to my parent. And my parent never gave me the attention to find out why I was acting this certain way. And really and truly, I didn't know that I was abused when I was young. It wasn't only my cousins. But as time went by, I realized that other family member and my parent friends were also taking advantage of me when I was young still. And so many things happened very, very quick, where in my mind was, okay, this is how life is. Let me enjoy life and have fun, because there's no point anyways. So at the age of 15, my parent basically, I remember the day that my parent looked in my eyes and told me, I'd rather you die than having you as a child, because he was ashamed and embarrassed of me, because everyone in the town know who I was. I would sleep with, basically, I was known in my town center. I wanted to have this promiscuous life where basically live once, and this is how life is.
So you heard it from your parents?
Yes.
Say it again, please.
My parent told me, I'd rather you die.
Sorry, when you say your parents, you mean who?
My dad.
Your dad?
Yes. He told me, I'd rather you die than having you as a child.
Well, but that was a very unfair, Pastor Neil, because to hear that from your father,
yes,
you know, like, you know, I'd rather have you dead. It's like, I'm not proud of having you as my daughter,
yeah,
but the dad wasn't giving her the attention she deserved as a child. And you see, Pastor Neil, perhaps this viewer has gone through a very, very similar situation where the parents didn't give them the attention they deserved. And then obviously because of this lack of attention, they started seeking for attention out there, which led them to make mistakes.
Yes.
And now what they hear from the parents are horrible things.
And sometimes it's not only the parents. Maybe you are watching, you said, but her story has nothing to do with me. I didn't live this kind of life. I'm not living this kind of life. But the point is, behind every problem, there is a root. Maybe your problem is different than for her. Your life that you are living now, maybe you are not deep down as she went down. Maybe no one told you you are the worst. Maybe just the problem itself, he's condemning you. And you have to understand that what we want to reach to is that it's time for you to say, no, there is a root to my problem and I'm going to take action. And she's going to tell you. Because Pastor Douglas, sometimes the view will be watched, but my life is not like that. But my life is different, is another problem. The point is there is a root. The point is, you see, from age 9, age 10 is like a plant. It grows. 11, 12.
It's like a vicious cycle, isn't it? Like
exactly.
an endless pattern of destruction that never ends. And it gets from bad to worse. And then, well, by the looks of it, well, obviously you didn't finish your story yet, but by the looks of it, it seems like, you know, as you are getting older, you're getting more and more problems. You're getting yourself into trouble.
Yes. So when my dad said that I'd rather you dead than having you as a child, that really hurt. And one of the worst situations was when he called me a prostitute. I was like, what? So that really...
You heard it from your own father?
Yes. I was like, I wanted to reply back like, you don't have the right to call me this, but I kept it for myself. At the point he told me, I don't want you in my house anymore. So he had to send me outside the country because he didn't want to live with me anymore. And as I left my country, it became even worse because I put myself into a relationship where I will be abused sexually and physically speaking. That was my lowest point. That was my worst situation where I wanted help, but I didn't know where to get the help from. I didn't even know how to come out of that situation because I was so basically used to suffer. I didn't have the strength to even find help. That was my lowest point in that relationship.
So you started then, you came out of your house.
Yes.
And then you got yourself into an abusive relationship.
Yes.
Where your partner was very abusive.
Yes.
Really? But what sort of abuse did you go through with your partner?
There was a time that he hit my head into the wall in order for him to have sex with me. And from that point, I was like, I'm not staying in this relationship again. Though I cried, but I went back there for some reason. And then when I went back there, I felt like, what are you doing? That showed that I didn't value myself. I didn't even care for who I was anymore. It showed how much I was lost. That is what it showed, because if I valued myself, I wouldn't go back to that relationship because I didn't have no one surrounded me. I felt like he was everything.
Perhaps, dear viewer, you are a woman, you are watching this show now, and you have been in an abusive relationship where your partner has been beating you up, he's trying to force you to have sex with him, you know this relationship is not good for you, but you don't have the strength and the courage to go. It's like you don't find the strength to get out of this abusive relationship. You lost your self-worth, as Esther mentioned here a few moments ago. There is hope for you. We will go to this break now, but when we come back from the break, Esther will reveal how her life changed completely. Call your friends, send them a text, WhatsApp them. Prepare your heart, because after the break, what you're gonna hear from Esther will certainly change your life. Let's go to the break now.
Time is an illusion. There is only the now.
So now's a good time?
Oh.
She with you?
I thought she was with you.
If it's in the cinema, it's in On Screen. On Screen on MyTV. Get all the recent news updates with France 24. Watch France 24 on MyTV. Football, football and football. More football than ever. Championships and Bundesliga legends are closer than you think with Kickoff. Watch Kickoff on MyTV. Latest digital inventions, cyber concerns and much more uncovered in Shift. Everything you need to know about the modern digital world. Watch Shift on MyTV.
Welcome back to Tonight Show. With me here tonight, Esther, our live guest. Esther, as far as you can remember, what was the worst moment of your life?
It was when I came to England, because I didn't have no one around me. It was myself. That was when I found out everything that happened to me when I was young, because there was no friend around me, I wasn't in a relationship, no family member, it was only myself. I felt lonely, I was scared. I remember I would be in the room and screaming because I couldn't take this silence, because I had to face the reality of who I was and what I had inside of me. I remember I took a knife to self-harm myself once, but it didn't happen. And then I tried to smoke. It didn't work out either. However, I was walking by in the shopping center and someone invited me for a place of faith, which in the beginning I found a bit awkward. I refused the invitation, but they were really, really persistent. So as they were persistent, I said, okay, let me give it a try. When I went to the place, it was different. It was peaceful. Everyone accepted me the way I was basically. No one judged me. everyone welcomed me. I felt peaceful. I never had that in my life. And the pastor was speaking about faith, which helped me to build up a faith, like a strong faith, and really value myself. He was speaking about how God loves me, how I need to have self-value, and everything he was speaking about, it basically related to me, which made it a bit easier for me to accept the word of faith that I received on that day. He spoke about self-belief, about love, and on that day I was like, let me give it a try. I don't have nothing to lose. So I gave it a try to that place, and the more I will come, I'll feel more confident about myself. I'll feel more strength to even forgive myself. I had to forgive myself before I could forgive anyone else. So when I found out about all the roots that happened to me when I was young, I was really shocked because I never had time to think about my life. So I forgave myself, and then I forgave my parent. That was the first thing I've done, was to forgive my dad so I could find the true happiness I needed. And I was able to cut off everything that was trying to impede me from becoming a stronger person. And today I'm a completely different person, which I'm happy today. I have a good relationship with my parents, with my mom and my dad. We are best friends today. There's no conflict among us. And that was because of a decision that I made to be happy with myself and to accept the help that was offered to me.
Wow, what an amazing story, Pastor Dio.
Very much. Very much. Because many people, they might ask, but how can I get rid of this? She just said, when she found faith, through faith, she learns how to forgive herself. She learns how to be strong on the inside. She learns how not to feel rejected anymore. Then when she fixes her inside, then everything else around her, she cuts the root. That bad root for how long? How many years? Since 9 years until?
16.
16. Faith destroyed.
With all due respect, how old are you now?
20.
Okay, you're 20, meaning you're still very young. You got a prominent future ahead of you. And obviously, she was exposed to horrible things at such an early age. And I think, Pastor Neil, these are actually, it's not even what I think, but that's a reality. This is the sad reality of many people. And perhaps you, viewer, you who's been watching this show now, perhaps this is your reality also. You are now in your 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s, in your 50s, but your problem began in your teens or when you were a little child. Like in the case of Esther, where when she was 9, 10, she had already been exposed to pornography and sexual abuse. And this explains as to why you behave in a certain way. You keep seeking, people's attention. You've become an attention seeker. And if you don't get the attention you want, you feel depressed, you feel lonely, you feel you're not good enough. You have this thing where you keep comparing yourself to other people. You find it difficult to control your anger management. You find it hard to control it. When people step on your toes, you really snap it and you get angry and you don't answer for yourself anymore. Now the question is, where does this come from? It's a root. A bad root which is there within you, and it has to be treated. Now the good news is there is definite cure. There is solution for a bad root.
For sure. She also mentioned, if you remember, that she reached at a point where she became used to the problem. She became used to the suffering. And this is the situation of many people. They become used to that problem. Oh, I've been like this for a long time. There's no way out, but there's a way out.
Now, Esther, before we go to the break, I would like you to look at that camera there, and I would like you to give the viewer an advice. What would you say to this viewer who's watching your story now and they've been through abuse, to trauma, they experienced domestic violence or any other sort of abuse, what is the way out?
The way out, I would say, is to accept that you have a problem. Because if you don't accept that you have a problem, you won't be able to solve it. And also to be open to ask for help. Because if you don't ask for help, you won't be able to get the help that you need, and to make a decision to change the situation. Because when you make a decision, no one can change your decision. You decided to change your life. You decided to overcome the root, the problem that you're going through. And from doing this, you'll be able to overcome any situation in your life.
Make this decision now. Call us. Call us now. 020-7686-6300. And we'll be more than happy to help you. This is Finding Answers. Stay tuned.
The matters of the heart are the most bothersome.
We like to explore in details what people have been through, what couples have been through, so that we can highlight some points.
Learn to love intelligently. Watch Love Talk on MyTV. Meet the amazing SUV Jaguar, the stylish Fiat, a vintage VW, a sporty Honda, and the green smart ED. Drive it, test it, know it. We have cars for any taste. Explore vehicles and their features with our weekly show. Watch Drive It on MyTV.
Do the maths. Changing your life is not as simple as changing your hairstyle, your shirt, or rearranging the furniture in your living room. You're talking about years of deep-rooted habits, behaviours and problems that are not going to change overnight. Many may say, think positively, but the trouble with that is that you can't do or change anything with just thoughts. But add action into the equation and the outcome can be different. Let's do the maths. Positive thinking plus action equals a change. Whatever it is, if the change is significant, if it's worthwhile, then it will have to take time, effort, and homework from you.
Latest digital inventions, cyber concerns, and much more uncovered in Shift. Everything you need to know about the modern digital world. Watch Shift on MyTV. Football, football, and football. More football than ever. Championships and Bundesliga legends are closer than you think with Kickoff. Watch Kickoff on MyTV. Watch The Chrissy B Show on MyTV.
I wanted to be financially independent, but it seemed like even though I had an okay job, it wasn't enough to do the things, not just that I needed to do, but that I wanted to do. And so I decided to start my own business.
I was looking for a job, but I couldn't find. Even applying for the simplest job, they would refuse. I didn't know what to do. I was on GSA.
I was able to do that, and things were moving forward. However, it was a struggle. And as a result, I realized I was starting to get more debts or sink into debts.
To the point that I had to leave the place that I was living, and I was staying at someone's place, sleeping in a sofa in the living room.
Things were really tight. Even though orders would come, it wouldn't be enough to meet the monthly outgoings. And I was in a situation where I didn't know what to do.
I was applying for a job seeker's allowance, and even that, I believed in such a great God, and still I was on job seeker's allowance.
Instead of the business adding to my life, it was like it was taken away to the point that I felt to give up. It seemed like there was nothing I could do to turn the situation around. I knew that the business itself came in an impossible way. However, it was now becoming a burden, and I didn't know what to do to make the situation better.
When the campaign came, I took this as an opportunity to change the situation, because I knew if I called God's attention, He would answer me.
After the campaign, everything changed in such a dramatic way. I began to have so many orders that even in some cases I had to put some aside.
I wrote on my request, I asked God exactly what I wanted, the salary, the job, and after the campaign, God opened the door for me.
It seemed impossible for me to be financially independent and to have what I needed when I needed.
Now I have exactly what I asked for, the salary, even more, and the position.
I made more within 3 months than I did in a whole year put together of the previous year. Now things are completely different. I managed to clear off thousands and thousands in debts.
It's amazing because we ask for so small, but God gives us even what we don't expect.
I don't owe any of those that are involved with my business anything at all. Things have completely changed, and now for my business the future is very bright.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. You have just watched the life-changing story of Esther. She's being abused, she's being exposed to pornography, she suffered domestic violence, she was in an abusive relationship where her partner hit her to force her to have sex with him. She heard from her own dad things like, "You are a prostitute. You are not my daughter." Nevertheless, the power of faith was stronger than all these altogether. The power of faith, Pastor Neil, is so strong, so intense, that no matter how rough, how bitter the experience was, the power of faith can heal it.
For sure.
Can cure it.
Doesn't matter, the person can be at the deepest point.
Yeah.
The power of faith can bring back that person. And sometimes you are saying, why my life is like this? Why my life cannot change? It cannot change. Your life has not changed yet because you haven't yet found the root. Once you find the root, how? With the power of faith. You heard Esther. Maybe when you were watching, maybe you were even crying. Maybe you were even feeling sorry for her, but feeling sorry for her is late for that. Today she's happy. Today she has been used by God greatly to give her testimony for others that they are in suffering. And then now, until when you are going to sit there and said, my life is like this. Do something. Do something. You have to attack this root. Get it out of the way. Because if you don't get it out, it's going to put you deeper and deeper. But the power of faith, Pastor Douglas, it is so strong that it doesn't matter where and what the situation is. It can rescue, it can revive that life.
Hence why I would like to invite you, viewer, to join us and use your faith, because right now we are going to be praying together. We are going to be talking to God. The same God who heard the prayer of Esther when she was in her lowest moment, when she had literally hit rock bottom, when she felt hopeless, suicidal, when she felt a nobody. And God heard her outcry and gave her a new life. And the same can happen to you. Let's now prepare our hearts. It's the moment of prayer.
Prepare now for the moment of prayer. If you would like us to make a prayer concerning your family and loved ones, send your name and prayer request to help@findinganswers.tv.
My Father, I present to you right now people who are carrying the past life of Esther. People that is at the lowest point of their lives. The love life is broken. The financial life is destroyed. The family is scattered. People that they are crying day after day. They don't know where to turn anymore. This person that started many relationships, but all of them end the same. This woman, this man that they fight. This woman that has been living in this abusive relationship. This man that he works so hard, but his financial life is a disaster. You know their pain, you know their cry, you know how many people at this moment, they're at the point of giving up. But just as Esther found faith, this person can find the same and can be happy today as she's happy. My Father, I pray for this person that is at the point of giving up. This person at the point of committing suicide. You are God of life. You give life to those who are abandoned. You give life to those who are rejected. You give life to those that they lost hope. My Father, I pray for those who are in the hospital, those behind bars, those that every way in their lives, my Lord, is blocked. I pray, my Lord, for this relationship. May you bless it. May you reach out to those, my God, that they tell themselves, today was the last day I want to live because I can't take the pain anymore. My Father, I present your people into your hands. In the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, you that you are feeling weak, you are feeling sick, you are feeling down, I stretch my hands, and as you are watching, touch the screen and be healed. Receive strength, receive renewal, that you can take action as Esther. My Father, in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, receive your people. Receive their lives, my Lord, in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Thank you very much, my Lord. Thank you very much, because every problem is rebuked. Everyone, in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen.
That's it for tonight. We believe that you are now blessed. And remember Esther's advice when she said, if someone wants to change, the person must seek help. Help is at hand. We are here for you. Call us 020-7686-6300. Or you can send an email to help@findinganswers.tv, and we're going to be very glad to offer you a helping hand. God bless you. Stay safe.
This programme is brought to you by UCKG.